Hey, come on in, everybody. Welcome to the Winning Formula, courtesy of the Minnesota Lottery. I'm Paul Allen, joined by Ron Johnson from Fox 9 and Pete Bercich, former player and coach for the Minnesota Vikings, currently the analyst for the Minnesota Vikings radio network. He was at Lambeau Field when the team got 3 in a row, 4 KO. Well, let's get 4 now against Atlanta with a new quarterback on the field and a new quarterback in the building. And we begin there, Pete Bercich, with Josh Dobbs, now a member of the Minnesota Vikings, the BYU rookie Jaron Hall. What does he need to do specifically in this game to keep Josh Dobbs off his heels?
Well, I think what he needs to do is just be consistent. He needs to prove to the Vikings that they drafted him for the right reasons. It was his leadership, those kinds of things. He's going to get a week of practice. And what's funny, we had a conversation with Brad Johnson a little bit earlier, and one of the things that Brad Johnson said was have faith in your training, have faith in the way that in your abilities, how you played this game. Don't try to go out of body, right? Everything's going to be a first. It's going to be your first, first down, your first rushing touchdown, your first throw. All those things are going to be first. They're going to come with due time, but just don't try to go out of body and be as efficient as possible. And I think minus a bunch of turnovers, he might be our guy for the rest of the season.
RJ?
Yeah, I looked at the last 15 years of NFL rookie quarterbacks in that first game. There were some names out there that he cannot do what they did. Matthew Stafford, first pick. So what matters what he does? No, he threw 3 interceptions his first game. Jameis Winston, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. That's a Jameis day, though. He does that all the time. He's the first guy I think went 30 for 30. And that's not an ESPN thing.
We play the Saints coming up soon, by the way. So anyway, go ahead.
But when you look at some guys that had some efficient games, Gardner Minshew and some other ones, it's just like Pete said, don't do anything crazy. Do what the offensive game plan asks you to do. 1, if it's a hitch, just take the hitch. If it's an out, just take the out. If it's a deep over and you know the coverage and he's helped you out with motions and shifts, just take it. Don't try to be a hero. Now, if you have Jordan Addison one-on-one, can it take that? You have to take what the defense gives you, but also understand your weapons and where to go with the ball. And I think that's the key. Also, he can run. He doesn't need to be Justin Fields. He doesn't need to be Jalen Hurts, but he's got to find a mirror somewhere, a marriage in between of those two guys. Don't go super ridiculous Justin Fields and throw interceptions. Don't try to be Jalen Hurts and with the tush push. Just find the middle ground of that. And if you run an RPO or some type of boot, know that you can run the ball even though Kirk Cousins looks to throw the ball. If there's nothing there, just get 8 yards, slide, and live to the next day. And I think that's the key.
RJ.
Third down is going to be huge, too. Sorry to interrupt you, Paul, but
we're all good.
They're number 3 in the league on third down. Atlanta is. So don't force it on third down if it's not there. It's not a sin to punt, right? You can punt, at least you can have the opportunity to flip the field. Don't try to do too much.
2 things. RJ's playing fast. Secondly, Vikings third down, lights out the last 2 games. The 3 up to the Niners game, 11% offensively on third down. That script has been flipped. The analysts here, Pete and Ron, they're red hot with the lottery player of the game. We had TJ Hawkinson and Cam Akers last week, and they both scored. So how are we going to run up the score against the Falcons from a lottery standpoint? And Pete, we begin with you. Who is your hit the lottery player for the Vikings this time?
I'm going to go with Jordan Hicks, the linebacker, because if we don't know who Atlanta's going to start at quarterback either yet. If it's Desmond Ridder, there's a very big underneath passing game. And for whatever reason, this offensive line, whether it's the run and you got a Bijan Robinson, a very good running back, or in pass protection, they just don't seem to want to pick up the Mike linebackers much. So I'm putting Jordan Hicks on a big game.
Love that.
I like the Jordan Hicks pick. I thought Pete looked at my phone because literally that's what I had was Jordan Hicks. For the simple fact of the simple fact of the things he did last game. But to echo that, if they're not picking up the Mike backer and Ridder has to get rid of the ball because somebody's hot, Cam Bynum is the sneaky favorite in a lot of those coverages for Flores. If you look at last game when they were in cover 1, he went all the way over to cover 2, or they were in cover 3, and he went all the way over. He baited the quarterback into the throw. He should have picked it off. He knocked it down. Jordan Love threw it thinking, I got a wide open fade route. Cam Bynum makes that catch. Again, he gets to do the hip toss, the worm, whatever he does. I've seen that guy do 7 celebrations in one play. I've never seen that many. And so I think Cam Bynum's the guy. I'm going to see the worm. We're going to see the hip. We're going to see the dice. And we're going to see him and Harrison Smith do something else. I don't know what, but we know they practice it.
And we're also going to see your phone where Ron just got text messages from Sauce Gardner and Asad Abdul Khalik, and they came in at the same time. Let's beat Atlanta. 4 in a row, 4 KO. 4 in a row, 4 KO. Let's stay hot. Good luck, Jaron Hall. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you, Minnesota Lottery. For Pete Bercich and Ron Johnson, I'm Paul Allen. That's your winning formula.